So I couldn't find a proper cap, so I'm using this. But I was just going to show you how we used to pose in high school, which is actually the thumbnail. Just to do this in photos. Yeah. Anyway, I recently finished one of my Java projects. It was like a capstone project, the final project for the Java module of my course, and I had to figure like a lot of stuff out by myself and sort of didn't have a mentor throughout it, which is kind of hard. Just like got me thinking about the future, and when I look back I'm probably going to be surprised at how much better I became and how much easier things are, and you know, making simple things instead of taking me a whole day will take me 30 minutes or whatever. The point being, improving on what you've done. And that actually brings me to the topic. You are not supposed to like the person that you used to be. Now, I read the article on Medium and it just really inspired me to do this video. Have you ever looked back on a younger version of yourself, or a memory of a younger version of you doing or saying something, and you sort of look back on that memory and you cringe and like immediately suppress it and sort of check yourself a little bit so that you make sure that, you know, you suppress it really deep? I'm sure that's happened to all of us. Just sort of share my embarrassing moment with you guys. Maybe it was a lie that you told that you thought would make you look cool, or maybe it was a lie you told to sort of cover your ass. Maybe it was when that lie was discovered by people you loved and then you like really hurt them. Maybe it was when you were younger and you were really unprofessional at work and really naive when it came to like business dealings and like what to expect. Maybe it was the way you dressed, or your taste in music. I know I was a Westlife fan, like, I mean, we all had that one. Obviously also, looking back on your like quality of work, you could be maybe like shocked at how bad it was, and now years later it looks a lot better. We are apparently supposed to cringe when we look back at ourselves and regret who we used to be and what we used to do. This is actually a normal part of growing up and growing as a person. I think that for the most part we are so involved in our own worlds that when suddenly we see small glimpses of people, we assume that they simply just blossomed into this beautiful, amazing human. Obviously, I don't think that that's true for anyone, unless you're looking back on your life and you still like that person that you used to be, because that means you haven't changed at all. If you look back and you really still like your old self, then that means that you haven't grown at all. I ain't changing it for nobody. Hello. Say hello. It's good to be strong in yourself and who you are, but you should also be willing to actually change and work on yourself and improve yourself. Because if we don't change, we don't grow, and if we don't grow, then is that really living? And I mean, going through change is really hard. You know, doing something over and over and over again and regretting it every time, it's a hard lesson to learn over and over again. And then suddenly you get the resolve to, like, you know, abstain or like stop making those silly decisions, but then 2-3 weeks from now you stumble and you fall and it happens again. So it's really about, you know, taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and it's normal to stumble on your way, and it's also a gradual process. It doesn't just happen overnight. It's also hard being tested by the people around you. Sorry, that's Keats scratching her nails. It's also really hard being tested by the people you're surrounded yourself with. People don't like change. They like to stay safe within their warm, comfy, toasty, comfortable, warm, safe and comfortable cocoons. That's what people want. It's really hard to blossoming into one of those beautiful people. Becoming a butterfly is a never-ending life cycle of change and beauty and growth. So how do we become a butterfly? I think it's very important to acknowledge that you do have regrets, and to maybe actually focus on specific ones that cause you like a lot of emotional hurt. If you can't deal with the feelings associated with thinking about those memories, then you won't be able to move forward. And a lot of people fall into this hole where they assume that this is as good as they're going to get and that they don't deserve better or deserve more. And in event to that, they actually end up responding with another maladaptation of a bad pattern or maladaptation of their personality, and that just takes you deeper into a darker hole. So you really have to face those feelings and head on. I think it's also important to stop worrying about what other people and people around you think. The funny thing is that a lot of people are so in their own headspace, they won't notice that you've been embarrassed. They probably don't remember it. People don't care. They don't realize. They don't know about it. So relax. Stop overthinking this. I think it's important to actually take something away from this whole experience. When you look back on this moment and you feel that embarrassment and regret, you've clearly disappointed yourself in some way or another. And I think it's good to look at that and sort of identify where you've upset yourself. Looking back, was I unprofessional? Am I acting professionally now? Have I grown in this way? I used to date idiot people. I had bad taste in partners. Has that changed? Am I dressing better? Is my taste in music better? Yes, it is. Am I still telling lies? If I look back at the work that I used to do and the work that I do now, can I see an improvement? It's important to actually be aware of your behavior and your patterns so that you can change them if they are bad. I think it's important to aim to improve yourself, but not for perfection. When we aim for perfection, we set ourselves up for failure. You have to realize that nothing will ever work out exactly the way that you imagine it in your head. So you must always be open and ready for dealing with rejection and with failure. See this video somewhere. I think it's there on how to deal with rejection. Just focus on improving the person that you are today. It's a circle of life. It's also important to sort of let go, release all the old, to let go of who you used to be and be ceremonious about it. Make a big bonfire, have a party, I don't know, clean out your house and sage out the corners, whatever. Get rid of people, things, thoughts, clothes, anything that reminds you of the person that you don't want to be. And then thank the past you, because without past you, you wouldn't be you. I think by being grateful to your old self, you also realize that it wasn't something that you did on purpose. You were just acting through hurt or something else pushing you to react in that manner. And it's important to understand why you did that for you to move on. Lastly, remember to love yourself, because getting here wasn't easy.